Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerd Dad's Lair. Tonight I'm going to continue something I started last night. I was showing you some of my RC crawler addiction. So tonight we're going to finish what we started yesterday. I was building out this Redcat Gen 8 pack pre-assembled chassis kit for my daughter. So yesterday we put the electronics in. I got the Redcat 550, the Hexfly stock ESC, stock 25 kilogram servo. We put the radio controller in, which is again the stock Redcat radio. We threw the stock licensed Interco Super Swampers on here yesterday. So today, what I have done is worked on the body components. Let me show you that. So this is again a little girl's truck. This is what we have. This is the first Lexan body that I have ever painted. It was definitely a bit of an adventure. I've never painted Lexan before at all, so it's a little bit different. It is painted on the inside. In fact, let me switch to the bench view. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get a shot. So it's got sparkle. It's sparkle pink on the outside. So what I did was actually, I painted it again from the inside out. So the first coat I laid down was a sparkle shimmer glitter clear. And then on top of that, I laid a bubblegum pink in, several coats of that. And actually, originally, you can see this. Let me see if you can see it here. There's a screw up here. I had originally taped off an area for 2 racing stripes. However, the tape, which is good painter's tape that I used, did not want to stick. So the front and the back had the same problem. It came off. In mid-paint. So that didn't work out. What I wound up doing was using the matte black that I had planned on for the stripes, but I did it on the outside. So I taped a little bit wider of an area on the outside to cover the screw-up, but all in all, it came out okay, I would say. So what we're going to do tonight, I have a mine sparkling purple, so she needed sparkling pink. She specifically requested pink, and all I could find was flat, so I did the 2-layer approach to get it there. But it does look pretty good. So it's going to be all this color pink with black accents. So from Team RedCatShop.com, I have a lot of accessories. So I have inner fender well. This is actually the spare tire carrier mounts that stiffen the inners. I have inner fender wells. I have the front and accessory kit, which comes with all the light buckets. Real handy. I've got outer fender wells, I've got seats, I've got a dash and steering wheel, and I've got the roll cage, and I've got all this stuff. I've got the fabric top that actually goes over it. So we have a lot to add to this thing. So what we're actually going to start with, and I do have a diagram pulled up, which again, Team RedCatShop.com offers a lot of cool parts, and they actually have these parts diagrams on their website that make it super easy to figure out where things go. So knowing what I know about the light install on this particular rig, because I have done it to mine, I know that we're probably going to want to start off by putting the light buckets and the front grille in, because that will be the most tedious thing to do if I have stuff like a roll cage and seat screws, all that in the way. So I'm going to move a bunch of this stuff out. We're going to open up the parts bucket for the grill and light kit that we have. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. And we're going to start with that particular set of things. I also went ahead and bought from Amazon a bunch of screws because none of these kits come with screws. Now I do think that the light bucket kit does, but that's because it's an option part. It's not a standard part. None of the standard parts come with screws. They expect that you have your own if you were to break it. No, yours is not in the mail. Sorry about that. All right, so let's dig into this a little bit more. We have the front grille, which actually I'm going to need the sticker sheet now that I'm remembering. The sticker goes in behind the front grille. These are the light clips. I'm not going to open these because we don't have LEDs to go in the buckets. The side mirrors. This one does have all the hardware, and it appears that all the hardware, there's only, yeah, there's two, let me put this, there's these two screws for the side mirrors, and then the rest of the bag of screws is for mounting the buckets and things. So I have clear lenses, the buckets themselves, all that good stuff. But that does remind me that before I go very far, there's a sticker on the front that represents the radiator. This one right here. So we're going to have to put that in before we do anything else. Just as it goes behind the part we're going to wind up putting in. So let me get this sticker off of here. Make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. They have side. It's a pretty cool sticker sheet actually for stock. They have side marker lenses. They have the door handles, some stuff for the dashboard, some Scout logo for the International Harvester. There's some International Harvester logos. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. So anyway, let us add a sticker. So for a long time, I helped run a company that made and applied vinyl. So, big signs and things. So I am pretty well versed in sticker applications. More than I would like to be. That stuck too soon. Now that I'm talking about it. More than I would like to be, but still. Alright, I'm trying to get these holes lined up because there's going to be this hole in the middle, which I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with. Alright, so we'll get that on there. It's going to look good behind the front grille. It really just adds some depth. It just adds some depth behind the front grille. Bring it over here so you can see it. So that sticker goes on there. We're going to put the grill on top. So I'll go ahead and get that part out here. So there's a couple of grommets and the grill itself, and this is actually what the light bucket's attached to in the front. So it's a pretty integral part of the system here. So I'll put this sticker sheet away. I'm going to get out my handy dandy parts holder. If you're not using a paper plate as a parts holder, we can't be friends. Alright. Let me get all the stuff out that belongs with this. It is the grill and the grommets, for which there's only one. Why is there only one grommet, eh? What am I missing? Why just one grommet? Oh, I see why there's only one grommet. Because that one is not going to have a light bucket. There's one little stud in the center that is not going to get attached to the light bucket. So what they have done is make sure that you have a backing piece so you don't over tighten that screw. That's kind of handy. It's a good thought. All right, let me get the clear lenses out because we are going to have to apply the clear lenses here. And I'm going to have to find a way to cut a hole in this light bucket. So I have some knives here. I'm just going to use any old knife. It doesn't matter so much. This was a cool little present from work this year. It's a little hammer that turns into a toolkit, but it has a stubby little knife on it. I'm just going to cut what is basically an X into this because it doesn't need a whole lot. Just enough for some clearance. Okay, now we will put the lenses in. They should just snap on into this assembly. Yeah, they're pretty tight fit, but they do snap in. And then we're going to need the buckets that go behind them because they're part of the retention system. Okay, so I put the clear lenses in there. And it actually just sits right in the front. I'm going to scoot this over so we can throw my trash in the floor. This just sits right in the front here. The nice thing about this body is it was pre-drilled. So there was no having to fiddle with drilling new holes for all these parts. Just came in there. Yeah, and so you can see that the sticker I put on earlier actually goes behind the grill, and that would be where your radiator would be. So kind of cool. It's a cool little added feature they have there. Did I throw away my, I did. I think I threw my lenses down here. Hold on, everybody. I sure did. I threw lenses in the floor thinking I didn't need that part back anymore. It appears that I did. Okay, it's time to get my buckets out. I'm gonna need my front buckets. And again, we don't need the rear buckets, so I'm gonna set those aside. So the front buckets are a 3-screw pattern, and they line up to these rear holes. So think about how this goes. So from what I know about my light kit, these go to the side. That's actually the retention pieces that I'm not going to be using because I don't have the LED kit for this for her. So that one goes there, and this one goes here. Yep. Okay. Yes. Right. All right, so I'm going to open this screw pack. We're going to get started. I got to get my screwdriver out. Don't open it with your teeth like me. But I do. Do not try this at home. My dentist hates me. Gotta get my screwdriver set out. Where are you? Figure out what size screw this is. I'm gonna say these are a T6 screw because they're so small. I'm gonna say. Let's see. Let's test that hypothesis. It being a T6 or yeah, T6 screw. It is absolutely T6 screw. Little bitty screws. They will fit nicely. All right, and now let's just start wrenching. So I determined that it was there. I'm going to need to extend my screwdriver a bit for this. I'm going to put the bottom one in first. Get in there. Get in there, you magnetic screwdriver. Don't hassle me. I'm super concerned about scratching this body up, too. I was not at all concerned when I was wrenching the lights onto mine, but having just painted this, I'm like, I understand how delicate it is. Super concerned with getting it messed up because I do not want to paint it again. It was a real headache painting it and having that mistake happen, but it looks better now, so it's okay. It all worked out for the best. All right, 2 screws in on this light bucket. I'm gonna get all 3 in, and then I'm gonna tighten them. I might just go ahead and get them all in across the grill and tighten them all at once here in a minute. Third one. These holes are lining up really nice. These are well-made parts. Redcat did take their time making these fascia pieces. They wanted it to definitely look good. They did a good job. Hats off to Redcat. Okay, I'm gonna put that center retention piece there that goes in place of any of the light buckets since there's not a light bucket on this middle retainer. I don't remember that being a part in mine, but it's entirely possible. I don't remember a lot of things. Okay, so this one goes on that side. I'm going to go ahead and do its bottom screw too. I'm going to get all these screws in and then we'll tighten them all. That'll be so much easier. Get in there. I think if we can get through this successfully and not scratch any of the paint up on the inside, it'll be a win. That's my biggest concern right now. How much of this paint am I going to ruin? I think it'll be okay. It's got like, I want to say it's got like 6 coats of this pink in here. I laid down a coat and then I use a hair dryer to fast dry it, and then until it was just not tacky anymore, and then lay down another coat. So it's got several layered coats for sure. It should be okay. It should stand up to this just fine. I'm just being over concerned. I know that's the case, but I'm allowed to be. I worked hard on this. I don't want to scratch it up. I want Peyton to put her first scratches in it, not me. Get in here with a little bit more different angle. So these screws aren't going to go all the way in because it's kind of made to have this air gap. Got to get it, just got to get it tight enough. Pinch that Lexan down. We'll get the middle one here. The middle one I'm not going to really have a gauge for. I'm just going to go with a little bit tight. It's good enough. And then we're going to put the rear buckets in next. Get those out of the way. Once we have all the light buckets in, we'll probably move toward interior. One last screw here. And then we'll have the light buckets in. Redcat did a really good job of including this stuff. I'm very pleased with the accessories that come with it. And it's, 20 something bucks for the light kit. So there we are. There are the finished front light buckets with the requisite sticker. So now let's move on to the rears. These are just 2 bolts, and they actually bolt from the outside, which is a little more handy. Nice and handy. So the light buckets are on the inside, but they mount from the outside. They're marked left and right, which is nice. So basically the right makes sure the holes are aligned inside so you can get to those bucket clamps. And it does have individual sections in it for the different lights. So on my Redcat, there's obviously a reverse light, a brake light, and a running light. So the running lights are always on. The brake lights are on when I'm off the throttle. And then when I'm in reverse, the white lights do come on like they're supposed to. It's all a really good little system they have. All right, we'll get these lenses. Are these lenses directional? Yes, these lenses are directional. But I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. So the lens should go this way. Yes, like so. So we will put a screw bottom here, put our screwdriver in it, and we'll hang the whole thing off the screwdriver while we place the bucket. Doesn't make any sense. Hold on a minute. Yes. Before we get too far, we're going to put another screw in that top there. Find the hole. There we go. There we go. Light bucket in place. Cool. That can go all the way down because it's just sandwiching this Lexan. I'm not going to go too far because I don't want to break the lenses. Keep thinking that I'm going to get some dirt on this thing from working on my truck yesterday and start scratching up her paint job. I don't want to do that. Okay, so this one should go like that. And we will do the same thing with just a lot of little screws here. Get in there, light bucket. Let's start it. Get it in the requisite screw hole. Approximate the requisite screw hole. Seems right. It started, so yeah. I have a whole bunch of screws left, and I'm kind of wondering. Oh, those are for the light posts. Okay. Hey, I'm wondering what all these extra screws are, and now I remember. There's one screw per LED retainer, and we're not going to use any LED retainers because I don't have the kit. Now, eventually, I do anticipate she's going to want the LED kit, and I'll put them in. So I'm going to hold on to that whole bag of goods until she's ready for that. But it might be a little bit. So I'm going to clean those off here in a second. We will just give them their own place to be. These are the retaining clips. I'm just gonna put the rest of these screws. You'll hear them rattling around in the microphone in one of these bags and keep them with the retaining clips because those are gonna be for another time. Okay, so now we have rear light buckets, clear lenses, pretty well done. Uh, Now for this particular installation, I don't see a place for mirrors. So I'm going to leave the mirrors be for now, and the two, what I believe are the mirror screws. We're going to leave those alone, and we're going to move on to the next thing. So, what do we want here? I believe that the next nearest thing is going to be the interior. We'll go ahead and get that in order. Oh, this does have, it has mirrors with it in this kit, which is the dashboard kit. So maybe we got stuff, and then we have a set for these would be seats and screws for said seats. Then there's a couple of stickers I know we're going to need for this dashboard setup. So I'm going to move this body out of the way for a second. We're going to open up these kits and see what all's in them. So this is the dashboard bag of goodies. It's pretty heavy too. I mean, this is actually feels like it's metal. I don't know. That must be some really high nylon content because that thing feels super stout. And then you got your little shifter set up there. This is a spare tire carrier. We're not going to carry a spare tire right now, so that one's not going to happen yet. I'm trying to figure out. It did give me mirrors, but I don't see any use case for these mirrors. And then I have several screws as well. So there's a dashboard. Oh, and you can actually light the dashboard. There's light pockets back here. That's kind of cool. However, I'm not going to do that. I have no need for a lit dashboard, I tell you. Um, so I can use the dashboard sticker here. And it's going to be hard to put on. Yes, it's going to be really hard to put on. But, we'll get it. We shall get it. I'm going to put it on one side. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'm going to put it on one side. It says that it starts there. Man, it's a tough little dude to get in there. But it's worth it for the realism, so I'm going to try real hard. Okay, get in that hole. Get in that hole. I know where you need to end. They've got it marked. You barely see it. Okay, so I've got my finger on that side, which means I can pull some tension over here and hopefully get it straightened out. Okay. Ah, it kind of dented in because of the light pocket. That's okay though. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I know you can barely see that on camera, but it's got a little dash with speedometer, radio, that kind of stuff. It doesn't look the best. I'm not very pleased with that light pocket insertion that I just did. I can push it out. Ah, yes, I can. Push it out with a screwdriver a little bit and try not to touch it again. That's my motto. Okay, then there's also what looks like a lighter and AC control. Gotta have that. We're gonna put that down here, right above the tunnel, where it would be in most vehicles. I assume, making an assumption here because I don't have any indication. There are no instructions. Yeah, so we're gonna put the AC controls right there, and then they also gave us like a headlight switch dash, which I think goes over here in this corner. Little spot for it. Yes, right there, right there. Okay, so all the stickers are in place. We're gonna have to put this steering wheel on here in a minute. I don't think there's any more requisite stickers for this. Nope, don't see any. All right, let's get out this screw kit. I may need another screwdriver bit. Some of these might be T8s. Some of them are super, super small. Some of them are not. Get in, get out of there. Come on, screws. What you doing? Killing me, Smalls. Come on, man. There you go. Okay, so there are 4 screw holes there. This one has 2 holes in the body for these things. 1, 2, 3 screws to hold the dash on, 4 screws to hold that on. So I'm guessing that all that is going to be these little, what appear to be T8 caps. Let me move stuff over. We'll get it in there. All right, let's start with the dashboard. Let me get my correct driver bit here. T8. Yes. No, it's going to be a T8. Everything's either T6 or T8 on this truck. Kind of convenient. You don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff out when you're working. Yep, she's a T8. All right, so we'll put the shift knobs there. Now, man, I don't know where that goes. That shouldn't be this direction? Where is that supposed to be? Things be facing down or up? Man, I don't really know. I'm gonna say this way because that to me looks like the gear shifter, and this one looks like the 4-wheel driving gauge. I'm gonna say. Could be wrong. Oops. I gotta actually put it in the hole. Not next to the hole. It's actually screwing into this Lexan. Hole in the Lexan is just barely big enough. And I'm guessing it's these screws as well because of the flange that's around them. I mean, it makes sense for them to put flanges in these sections to hold some tension here. Ah, there goes my body. Don't drop it. Let's see how strong this paint is because I'm cranking on it. Don't really like that, man. Why is that such a problem? Not a fan of the way this is going in. Let me see if I can pre-tap with one of these, maybe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's got to be these. I have the right number of screws. Don't seem to want to go though, man. They're still kind of long. And although the thread seems right, I don't know. I don't like it. Okay. Not doing. These holes are significantly larger. This has got to be the smaller ones. I have made a critical error. There's no reference material, so I'm guessing. So you just watch my educated guess go right out the door. We're going to put the T6 back on because this has got to be the right way to do it. This has got to be right. Can't be wrong twice in a row. Oh man, I don't have enough hands. I have that problem, not enough hands. There we go. That feels so much nicer. That has got to be the right way to have done this. I've already scratched up the paint down here, but that's okay because you're never going to see it. It's underneath this shift lever. There we go. Nice and firm. Over tighten it. It's not going to come out. Plastic to plastic. Anyway, so the shift lever's in there. I need to put 2 more screws in. Then we're going to put the dashboard in, which I've got to find the screw that attaches the steering wheel. I think I see it. It's an abnormally long screw, so it makes sense that that would be the steering wheel screw. It's the only one of its kind in this kit. Then we're going to build some seats. I like that this kit comes with a full interior. I had to print an interior for my Gen 8. This is actually the body for the Gen 8 Axe edition, so it's a little bit more high-end than the one I have. That's okay, because it looks good. Come on. Where's your hole? There it is. Had to find the hole. Go. All right, so there is the installed shift and 4-wheel drive engagement mechanism. I think that the steering wheel goes on with this super long screw that I have here. Yeah, it does.
I can't take it off. Dad, I can't take it off.
What are you doing?
No.
You don't need to take it off. You don't need to take the cover off your tablet, buddy. Hello wants to take stuff off. Nope, you need to leave it on, bud. Well, you don't need to get it off. You need to keep it on. That's what I'm telling you. So the steering wheel does function. Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's gonna go. Ah, hmm. How this actually goes in here. Son, what are you talking to me? Huh? No, buddy, keep it on. Go sit with mommy, okay? Go see mommy. Can you close the door? Thank you, bud. He was sitting here and talked for 30 hours if I let him, so. I also have this windshield, which I anticipate the windshield goes on. It's going to attach to the cage, I think. I think it is. So I painted this black framed because the roll cage is black. So that makes the most sense. Now, I don't understand why this doesn't want to fit in here. I mean, it wants to fit, but it wants to fit inside of the wheel wells or inside of the cage wells, and that seems wrong. He wants to fit way back here, and that's not right at all. I know it can't be. The cage won't let me. I can't put this in there because of the cage wells. Something is definitely amiss with this. Um, it's off old. It's pretty bad. Can I slide it if I force? I don't want to break anything. There we go. There we go. Wind. That's kind of cool. So the dash just sits right in there. Let's see if I can find some hole alignment here without making too much of a scuff. get into my T8 again. And I think I'm gonna try something new. I have it in this kit. I have never used it. It's a flex bit. I really want to get in there and flex because I don't want to scratch up my wonderful paint job. So let's see how well the flexiness works. I'm not going to expect a whole lot out of it. No, no, it actually don't know. That actually is what's going into it or not. Guess we'll find out when I tighten it. Yeah. You know what? It appears to be. That appears to be accurate. Not going anywhere. Cool. Like the flexi bit came in useful today. Kind of nice. I might keep it on here for a little bit because we got a whole lot of potentially precarious screw holes to go through. Potential precariousness. Pretty handy. Man, I like that. I tried using it so when I did the Husky links on mine, the Club 5 Husky links, I did the pan hard bar, and man, that thing was a beast to get to. The pan hard bar just did not want to come out, and I thought, man, I can't get in there with a straight screwdriver, so I actually busted out this twisty. Couldn't get it to go, so I'm glad I found it useful. Handy McDandy. All right, so she has a dashboard now. We are not going to use the spare tire carrier. I'm going to put these other mirrors aside, and I'm going to also pile away these screws. Because these screws, I do not know what they're going to be for. I assume they're for the spare tire carrier, which I am definitely not going to use. Okay, so next bag of parts we have. This is the seats. So it looks like the seats come with 4 more cap head screws. There's the backs. These are definitely not pre-assembled. I get to figure these out. Again, with no hints of instructions. Alright, so those are the bottoms? Bottoms, maybe? I know these are the headrests. Don't know what the headrests go into necessarily. Okay, so that looks like a hinge point. There's some hinges. There's the fronts and the backs of the headrests. That's easy enough. Son, what are you doing? What are you kids doing? Okay. Don't kick that. All right, back up, son. Still what I'm doing here. Hey, yeah, it is for your car. I'm trying not to break it. This is super confusing. Nothing. Oh, okay. So I've got to find some parts that I know do go. So that looks right. Yes. So that is a back. And there's the headrest. And these go in there somehow. And attach the bottom to the top. Okay. All right. We'll take their word for it. And then there's 4 screws. I'm guessing 2 per side. Okay. I think I'm getting it. So these are the backs. Yes. Headrests go into the backs in some kind of fashion here. We're just going to snap these on. The headrest snap together like that, and then we snap the headrest into the back, and then we snap the back onto the front. It all seems okay here. and that's part of assembled seat number 1. And then the bottoms of the seat have these plates. So these plates go into the bottoms. It looks like the 2 screws go into it. Yep. That's how it works. That is absolutely how this works. So we screw the plates on first, which I shouldn't have snapped that on so hard. The plates go on first. There we go. And then the whole seat assembly actually screws onto the whole plate assembly screws onto the bottom. So what we're missing here, I believe, is some very small screws. I'm surprised it doesn't have them. I don't see them in here. I see 4 screws. Now that's going to be to get these attached to the floor. That I do know. So we're going to open up my pack of screws that I got from Amazon, which there's not a lot of hope once I open this thing. It's just 100 screws in a little taped container. So it's going to be a good time. Again, don't open it with your teeth. That's just me. Don't do that at home. So there's 50 screws, I meant 50, in this little baggie. And we are going to use a couple of them to hold these seats together. So I think I'm going to need 4. And these, I could not find hex. So I had to get Phillips. And it's going to be a little bit more contentious for sure. That's okay, because we have a ton of Phillips bits. I could find one that fits pretty well. So this one seems to do the trick. We're going to take off the flexi and put this on directly, and we will just do this. So what I'm going to do is start by putting one side in. That's definitely the right size screw. I would like to have had a hex head because it's easy to strip Phillips, especially in plastic like this, and with as much tension as you have to keep on it. So I put one side in as such, and then put the seat on, and then I'll put the other side cap in. So it looks like they're keyed as well. So you can't like fold the seats at all. But it's a nice little setup here. I understand why they did it this way. It packs down nicer. That's for show. All right, so we'll get this one assembled real quick, and then we'll put the bottom pans in the floor. So this goes here and there and everywhere. Now that I know how it goes, it'll go pretty quick. No? Maybe so? That's the way it goes. Sure. Who's going to tell me otherwise? There we go. That's the seat there. And then again, we will put one side in for retention here. Through. Then we will put the chair back on. Then we're going to put the retention plates in the bottom of the vehicle. Come on now. You stay in there, you. There is one part that I'm missing that I would love to have. So Team Redcat Shop did not have the Axe interior sticker set, which is the door panels. So the door panels and the floor pans are stickers, and they did not have that in stock. Apparently nobody has that in stock. So as soon as that's in stock, it will be added to this, but for now, it's going to be interior panless, but at least it has the hard plastic components for the interior installed, which is more than I can say for mine. I had to print all this stuff and fit it myself and paint it, and it was a humongous pain. I will say the seats that are in here, these seats are not what you would see on an International Harvester Scout. They're way too modern for that. Way too modern. Okay. Alright. I put a screw. Alright, so there are 4 screws, and these are going to be with my flexi bit. So we got 2 seats and 2 retention brackets. The seats don't look to be directional. So the retention brackets appear to, and they're like super tight. I have to take that steering wheel off, and you can't get the seat on. That's odd. That's oh no no. Oh, you silly goose. The holes were toward the back, not the front. They go like this. What a silly goose I am. Okay. Here these. It's hard to get these little. Ah, there they go. It wants to pop. Let it pop. Pop, lock, and drop it. You know? So that actually got like this. That makes all the sense in the world. I was just being stupid. All right. These do go in with the bigger, bigger bore screw. So let me see how I can do this. I may start one, maybe. I may not use my flexi bit for this. Let me see if I can get one of these started and then kind of finagle it with both hands. You may not be able to see it on camera very well, but you trust me, I'm doing it, right? So I get it kind of through the Lexan, get it a place to start. Kind of get what I think is what feels to be lined up anyway. It went in. Okay, and then I'm going to put the other one in. Same method here. So as you can see, they're going in these little holes down in the bottom. This screw, and then I'm going to kind of twist the seat to feel that it's in the pocket, and it is. It is, for sure. But it doesn't want to start. It wants more pressure. Push a little bit harder. Doesn't want to go, eh? We're gonna get a little bit more tension on the first one, and maybe it'll pull the hole into a reasonable place for the second one. Maybe he's gonna sit here and spin for 50 hours. Definitely the spot. Take 2. Push hard. Nope. Don't want to do it. Well, hold on. Start over. Going into plastic is so precarious sometimes. It just has its moments. Maybe they are somehow directional. I don't know. The holes look pretty well centered to me. I don't think there's a left and a right and that I'm screwing it up. I'll push harder yet again. See if I can't just get it to go where I want it to go. It feels like that did it. It did it. It did. In fact. All right, so there's one installed seat. Now we have to do the second installed seat. And then we're going to put a roll cage on it. And then the stiffeners, and then basically it's going to be ready to go. I'm looking forward to getting the fender flares on. Roll cage in. It's going to look sweet for a pink truck. It's going to look pretty darn good, I think. I hope. I've been visualizing for a while. So I hope that my visualization comes to life in the way that I expect. Fight with this one in the same manner. Yeah, I'm not going to get that all the way down because I don't want to have to fight the second one as hard. And if I leave it loose, I won't have to. Oh. Pocket. Now I'm going to press hard again. Try to get this thing thread started. Don't have to argue with it about going in. Nope, there it goes. This one was far easier. I knew the kind of pressure it took this time, so utilize the pressure I knew. Look at it. Look at that. We have seats. I like it. I always liked this body, this Scout with the crop top. Uh, for my use case, it's pretty difficult to do that because I roll so much that I fear that I would break a roll cage. All right, so speaking of roll cages, time to assemble this roll cage. This thing's gonna start looking good in a hurry. Yet again, a bag of parts for which I have no instructions, in no context. So, based on what I see here, this has got to be the front windshield mount, due to pretty obvious station. This has got to be the way that goes, and so that makes this back mount. Mount. I don't know. Ah, there we go. There's a couple extra parts in this bag. Let's open up the mini bag inside the bag. Why don't we? There is a whole bunch of screws, which I can tell some are longer than others. Is a little disheartening because I'm not sure which ones go where. Um, we're gonna have to find out. Stay tuned. Empty bags. And then there's also these little pieces, which I'm going to make an assumption say are the rears based on the fit and finish there. So this is the mid, this is the front, these are the rears. I'm going to say that there's cap screws to attach it to the body, which I expected. There are short screws to attach the windshield. Sorry about that, my kid there. The windshield, which is this piece, to that, because it just rides on top of the roll cage here. So that will go there. And then all these other screws that hold the roll cage together are really long. They're very long in twos. Can't see it. Let me get a light spot. See, they're pretty long screws for an M2. They're log thin screws. So let me switch over to my T6 because that's what we're going to be using. And let's start putting this thing together. Put one of these screws through the front windshield link. Go in. I think they're making the screws so long for added rigidity. When you do take a hit, they're not going to like shear a screw off or something, which is good. Good thought. It's very possible to shear stuff off in orientation, configuration. So I'm not going to thoroughly tighten any of these screws yet, just because I anticipate that we're going to, once I have it on the truck, we're going to want to tighten it then, because there may be a little bit of play. If I have it too tight right now, then it may not conform correctly. So we'll get it close, and then we will put it on the truck and tighten it up after. These screws go in really well. They're machine threaded. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of tapping happening. I'm gonna give myself maybe like a 1/4 inch on each one of wiggle room. I can adjust it, but in general, it's gonna be all the way. All right, we'll do the mid next, which it doesn't look like it's directional at all. It just sits in there. A couple screws for that, and then we'll put the rears on. We'll get it on the truck, and then we'll put the windshield in. Things coming together. It's been Nikki has asked me every day because there's new parts that arrive. We're constantly getting packages. She's like, how many more parts are there for this truck you're building for her daughter? Um, Hopefully not too many more. We're pretty close to the end bit here. Coming on the end zone. Pretty well constructed. I'm pretty happy with this body. I'll say that this is not the cheapest body assembly in the world. The clear Lexan shell was fairly inexpensive, and it did come with the roll cage, but I had to buy all the other components separate. So the light buckets, the front grille, the fender wells, the fender flares, all that stuff was separate option parts. It did not come as a full kit for that, which they don't sell this truck without those things. So you would think they'd anticipate you'd want them. It comes stock with all those things. Nobody's gonna buy that Lexan kit to not use any of the fun parts that come on it that make it cool. Anyway, get in there. Trying to hold the part on while I tighten that screw, and it's just an itty bitty little hole in there. Come on now. I may have to do this one on the truck. There it goes. I think I got it started. Yes, I did. Maybe. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm lying to myself. No, I got it. I eventually got it. Don't you worry. Push that in. Huh. What cost today? But I do not have the Rona. I have already had the Rona. I don't think I can get it twice. I'm one of those people that doesn't think I can get it twice. I could be wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these all the way in because they're being kind of precarious. Don't think I can snap that in by hand. I'm hoping that some tension on the screw will take care of that for me. Doesn't want to go into the joint. I want to go into the joint, boys. Now that I have it tapped, I may have to take it back out, get it in the joint all the way, and then put it in. Out and in, out and in, and out and in. Get a little bit of flexibility on the screws. Now it's in there. Run it back in, and then we'll flip it over and do the other one. Then it's time to put it on the truck. I did buy the fabric cover for this as well. So it's not gonna be a tube top. It's gonna have the fabric cover on the top of it. Give it a little bit more realism. Kind of other than the color, I picked out all the stuff that I would want in this truck. Because this is her first one. Never had one before, and I don't know that she knows what she wants. She hasn't tried it yet. So I'm making some executive decisions for her at this point. Come on now. What am I doing? Why am I doing this the most difficult way I can figure out how to do it? I'm always being harder on myself than I should be. Alright. Come on now. Now, some people might want to put, and I don't know, it depends on how rough you intend to be. For this kit, they may want to put some CBA glue between the joints here so that you're not just depending on these mechanical fasteners. That's just a personal preference some people might want. I'm not going to do it because I don't anticipate her being really, really, really hard on this. Like she's gonna go trail running in it, but she's not gonna flip it down a rock face or anything that crazy. I don't think she's gonna bust this cage open. If she does, it's a fairly cheap replacement part. The plastic parts on these Redcats are pretty reasonably priced. They anticipate breakage, so all right. So now what I have is the finished cage, and I'm going to lay it upside down. And what I want to do, oh, I'm not going to lay it upside down yet. I'm going to put it back. There we go. I'm going to set it in here and make sure that everything is as it's supposed to be. So that's what the cage is going to look like on the top. So I need to get some screws prepared for the underside, which will be some larger, more more not fine threaded screws. I'm going to extend my screwdriver a bit here. I'm going to get one started so I can hold it on without me having to hold it on. Go. And then I'm going to set the cage on it and hope for the best. Looks like they're going to start just fine, so pretty grippy screws. All right, I'm not going to tighten any of these super tight yet. Try to get one in the front and one in the back. Ah! Ah! Try not to miss too much with these either because there's not a lot of coverage if I do scuff the paint. There's not a lot of coverage for that hole size because it's so small on the cage. Um, so I'm trying not to scuff it up. There's 6 screws going in here. Okay. Can't really see this one. This is going to be the mid here. Definitely missed. Ah, come on now. Maybe you can help me see it. Like I said, I left it a little bit out of sight so that I could make sure everything was going to seat properly. So once I get these bottom ones tightened down, I'm going to tighten down all the other linkages. Okay, so that's half of the screws in there. Now, think 3 to go. Man, this is gonna be so nice. I'm gonna be kind of jealous of her pink truck. I think a lot of other little girls are too. So I'm ready for her to go trail riding with it. We have a little group in town that's kind of new, and take it out there. Hopefully, let people have a peek at it. All right, just one more down the middle on the other side, and then I got to tighten the top screws, and we'll just tighten everything appropriately. And 4 window screws. There you are. I think it's going to be really rigid when it's done too. That's going to be nice. You don't have to worry about it being a floppy body. You know, a lot of people are into the hard body scale crawlers. I'll have to say the bodies on these Redcats they're not hard bodies obviously, but they are very stiff Lexan bodies. Just giving these a little bit of a tighten here while I can get to them. And we're gonna go tighten up all the other screws. I might get the windshield in before I do, and the top one will be fine. It should be fine. All right, we're gonna switch back to the M6. Tighten up all these bad boys that I did not tighten previously, and we'll put the windshield on. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put the cloth top on top. And we're going to work on the fender wells after this. I already put the inners on the chassis, so we just have to put the outers on the body, and then we're going to put some Velcro between the two. Not too overly tight, just to be careful. Really could. I could bring my screwdriver back in a little bit, but I've already got it out so far. Oh, you're right. Driver's rear, actually. I'm not going to go left or right here. And actually, today I did get from my truck a new 3S battery, so I have two 5,000 milliamp 3S lipos now. I got a set of pinion gears. I'm going to change the gear ratio on mine. That'll be the next thing I do to my truck. Was tight enough? You gotta be real cautious when tightening up the plastic parts like this. I have Colton the Orei. It's cheap. It's a cheap Amazon kit. I'll show it to you here. Is that brand, whatever that is. It's a top-rated Amazon kit. It's actually pretty good. I enjoy it. Okay, so that is our roll cage on. It's on effectively. Let us put our windshield on. Just sits. It should just sit right up here. Screw holes to go. That doesn't want to. It doesn't seem to want to go. Not seem to want to line up in the way I expect it to. But then again, who knows? I'm probably wrong. Yeah, Colton, you'll have to show me that screwdriver kit. I know the one you're talking. If it's the one you brought to work a couple of times, I know the one you're talking about, and I was envious of that particular kit when I ordered this one. Remember, I think I texted you and asked you where your kit was because I was going to borrow it from you because it's such a good kit you have. But I got my own instead. So, ha ha, ha 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 ha. Hard to see the black screw tabs behind this black coated Lexan. I mean, I guess it's right. I can't really. Oopsie. Don't want to drop that screw. It's itty bitty. I guess. I don't know. I can kind of see the screw hole back here. Sort of. Not really. Not to the best of my ability. Off to the side of it. Dang it, man. So hard to hit a hole you can't see. There we go. Got it. Ever try to hit a hole you can't see? It's tough. Real tough. I'm gonna estimate the angle at which I think it should be. Kind of where I think the hole belongs. And hope I'm right. I guessed correctly. It doesn't tighten up at all. It does not. Feels all kinds of wrong, but not wrong. It's right. I just don't think it gets very tight. These are itty bitty screws, and it may be designed to rip off if it flies. Goes tumble and spree. That does not feel right. That's a big old honking gap, bud. Not a fan of the way that went in. There's no way that screws in the hole. What happened here? What has happened? Something is clearly wrong. Not a fan. Indeed. Indeed, I am not. Alright. Ah! I don't want to push on this thing too hard. Come on now. Why is there such a big gap? That cannot be the intended look. What do you mean by that, Colton? You're gonna have to explain yourself better. I would say that I still have a little while left. Not even 10 minutes. There we go. That's better. I must have missed the hole. That's so much better. Okay. There we go. So now you can see we have a nice black window trim with our top. Next cool part we got to figure out how this thing goes on, is a handy dandy. Handy dandy. Ah, goes in there. Doesn't it? Yes. Yes, absolutely it does. I gotta take these screws out. Because it goes on the window mount here. It goes on those posts. So I just gotta pop these top two screws out. I should have opened this. No, Colin. I'm gonna be here a minute. I still got inner fender wells and flares to do, sir. Then I gotta put the Velcro on. I'd say we'll be done by 11:15ish or so. All right. I'm not gonna get too invasive with taking this off because I just put it on. My goodness. Kind of get this in there and then hope appropriately drag it up into the holes. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I can. Maybe I'm not good at this. It's entirely possible. Okay. One mount. That looks like crap. Haha! I'm gonna loosen the bottom ones real quick. We're just gonna loosen the bottom post. I'm not gonna take it out. Give myself a little bit more room to work here. Should have looked at these parts prior to talking about them and installing them and all those good things. I just flat didn't. I looked at them in the box and said, "Oh, cool," and then I wanted to put them in the cook. So that's what we'll do. All right, that's good there. Get the other one real quickly. Go. Yes. Michael Scott would say yes. Love The Office, man. I actually just recently got Peacock just so I could watch The Office. How about you guys? Anybody else there have Peacock? Great way to watch The Office. I'm looking forward to the Superfan episodes. Not gotten to that point yet, so definitely still on my want to watch list. All right, so in the back, it just Velcros on. You stretch it around the back post. And it looks like that, which gives it a little bit different of an attitude. It's kind of nice. I like it. And that way it's contained. Don't anticipate any terrible, terrible rolls, like I said, but at least we won't get some rock in the cage to blow the cage. All right, so that is all for the cage. We're gonna flip it over, and I'll show you the next parts we're gonna need. It's actually a variety of 3 things here. So we've got the spare tire carriers, which are actually the stiffeners for these inner frame rails, which are actually the mounts for these outer flares. So what we have to do is assemble the tire carriers and the flares, or the wells, real quickly. And I do have a diagram for this, because I'm no chump. And I did look it up, and there is one. So I'm going to move this body out of the way real quick, and we're going to assemble these stiffeners. Get nice and stiff. I had a box of screws. It's over here. So I have my bag of screws, which are going to come in so much handy because there's a ton of them. I'm going to use a ton of those screws here in a minute. But these do go together with the bulk screws I had previously purchased. What I need to find out, what I believe happens here is there is two orientations for which these work. So that's one inner flare, and there's another inner flare like this. And I don't know if they're matching, if there's fronts and rears. I may have to get the truck out. So here's the truck. Those are definitely not rears. This way? This way. Those are fronts. Definitely the front wells. Those are front wells that go like that. Rear wells, however, so those go like this. Okay, now we got to figure out what pieces go between. I don't know if these are universal, these pieces, or not. I'm going to say they aren't. Goes like that, actually. I've seen it from the bottom. Dang it. Where does it go? I've seen it from the bottom. It looks like this from the bottom. Okay, so it goes like that. This is how it goes. Okie doke. I got it now. All right, and these are T8s. So we will put some T8s in here. And these are my non-magnetic T8 screws. I keep forgetting are non-magnetic. Okay. This should be pretty simple to put together. And then what actually holds all this in place is the fender wells. Now, this is 3 different bags of parts. Why you'd be able to purchase any of these without the other, I do not know. This should be a kit for the body. If you buy the inners, you should be able to buy these outers, and the outers should come with the flares and this carrier assembly. All that stuff should come together. I don't understand why it doesn't. It's kind of strange to me, but okay. Okay, we'll get all this assembled. I need to invest in like a nut driver, like an electric screwdriver for this stuff. It has torque settings, so I don't have to wrench on this so hard. Luckily, these are not hard to put in, but I've done some wrenching lately that is super difficult. It would be so much better with a little driver. For I do not own one. I need to invest in that. I'm going to keep making these videos for you guys. I can work harder. Smarter, not harder, not harder. I don't want to work harder. That doesn't make any sense. All right. That one's coming together, and then we'll assemble the front one. This is the rear, and it will actually sit like this under the body, toward the back. And then the front one will sit this up here. You may not be able to see that. It's kind of far off on your screen. I want to thank everybody again for hanging out with me. You're a great excuse to have some fun wrenching on a truck. Oh, I need to spend more time making videos. Playing around, man. I'd be doing this either way. I really enjoy wrenching like this. It is so much fun for me. Thank you guys for being part of it. All right, getting those last 3 screws in, and then we'll move on to the front set. Then we'll put some fender flares on the truck. We'll get these suckers installed, and then we'll put some Velcro in, and we will show you what it looks like all put together. Now I can start driving it as of tomorrow. That'll be kind of cool, huh? She's gonna be super thrilled. Okay, so there's that one. I'm gonna go ahead and move it up here and out of the way. The rears. Now the front, I have to think about real quickly. So yes, it should go as such. They designed this system really well. I think Redcat did a good job of thinking about, how the body mounts could affect the stiffness of the chassis. There's a very stiff body mount system they're using. When you convert it to magnets, which I don't know if you noticed, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. There's pockets like built in for the magnets here. Let me see if I can get it right. You can kind of see it. This is where the Velcro is gonna go, but they've actually molded in pockets so you know exactly where to put your magnets if you want to go magnetic mounts. They just don't do it for you. I think it's pretty time consuming to get the magnets appropriately lined up, and they have to be neodymium. Can't use cheapies. So they just leave that up to you if you want to get to that degree. Ah! Lost a screw. It's in between my toes. Weird. I'll get another one. I have 100 of them in a container right here. I'm not going to bend down there and get a screw when I have 100 more of them. Crazy. Okay, there we go. And I would say it's kind of nice. I decided on the Gen 8 pack. I'd love to help you change your brake pads, Colton. I'm good at that. Anyway, I decided on the Gen 8 pack since I have the Gen 8 V2. This is not the V2, but since I have the Gen 8, Peyton and I could use interchangeable parts. It's kind of nice. But these kind of parts, I don't anticipate anyone ever breaking. I don't know how you go about breaking these inner frames. It would take some serious. You'd have to drive this sucker off a cliff. I'm sure somebody's done it. But man, they had to try hard. They had to try hard to break these things. Alright, almost done with this one. And then we'll put the 9 million screws in required for the fender wells. It's ridiculous how many screws the fender wells take. It's like 15 per side. Let's see, I have it to the diagram up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 per fender well. There's 4 of those, so you're going to watch me turn a lot of those screws. Again, I need to invest in a screwdriver for this stuff. But we got all the time in the world, eh? We'll just keep on cranking. Almost done with this. The last tightening these last few screws, and then we're gonna start on the fender flares. Don't know where the mirrors go. Like it says there should be mirrors. However, I have 2 sets of mirrors and not a single place to put them. Maybe that one just maybe it didn't have mirrors. Anyway, there's the outer flares completed. Yes. So that's the way that one's gonna go. That's the way this one's gonna go. And we will just, for now, set them in. See? So the fender flares actually tie this together. Kind of a handy dandy little system they use. I'm gonna move this rear one out of the way. I'm gonna get my flares. I'm gonna start cranking this back one down here. More parts from TeamRedCatShop.com. But check them out if you have a Redcat. You can buy your parts directly from Redcat Racing. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that as well. But Team Redcat Shop actually offers a little bit better prices. And the shipping's, better if not the same. I won't say it's insanely different, but better if not the same. Okay, that's not the right one. I know the ones with the Redcat logos go up front based on previous experience. So I'm going to get a couple of screws in this. Oh, these are not, they're not hex. My chair is all squeaky. These do have the paper tip, so they should line up better. Ah, hey, hey, hey. All right, let me not drop this. Oh, get in that. Get in there. Get in your hole. I say that a lot. Why don't the screws just want to go in their holes? There they go. There's the hole in the body. Now, appropriate hole in the inner. There we go. Yeah, it would have been much better if I could have got hex heads for this, but it's okay. I don't have to have hex. I'm gonna try to turn this up on its side so maybe you guys can see that assembly process a little bit better. Up a bit. If I can get a couple of them in the right spots, the rest of it should go together easy peasy. So, go. All right, so there's two in that one. Just barely. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten them. The other one should be pretty well lined up, and it doesn't have to be super over tight, which is good because I'm not going to get there with these Phillips head screws. Anyway, all right. Now this other one goes on this side. You can see it's starting to come together. Definitely, definitely starting to be what I envisioned a pink crawler to be. Ah, ah. Definitely don't make this color in a ready to run. That's for sure. The only color that this body comes in ready to run is black, actually. It's a pretty good. I mean, I like that body. I would put it on mine if I wasn't so pleased with the one I already have. I'm pretty happy with purple too. So get in your unseen hole. So body hole, and we got to kind of angle it into the. Kind of wants to stretch out a bit. Did we get it? I think we got it. Yep, we sure did. All right, so now I'm gonna go put screws in all these holes. They should line up. A couple of them are well in there. I'm just gonna drop screws in all the rest of them. Didn't be too picky anymore about placement, and they don't go in very far. They're pretty quick screws. Thank goodness, because there's just a bunch of them. I've been streaming this for an hour and a half now. Goodness, doesn't feel like an hour and a half. Time goes by when you're having fun. All right, where am I missing screws? I'm missing that one now. I'm missing two on the side. Flip it over because I'm missing many more on the other. And the rears are going to go on just as easy, hopefully. Then all we got to do is line up the Velcro pads. Okay, so that fender well is entirely in along with the flare. All these flare screws together. This is gonna look nice. I like the pink and black. I'm glad it wasn't just all bubblegum pink. She originally wanted all bubblegum pink. Said, I'll get you a color scheme, don't you worry. I did let her pick the main color. She said it had to be bubblegum pink with sparkles. That was the requirement. Got it as bubblegum pink with sparkles. No lie. One thing I am going to be on the hunt for is that sticker set for the interior, because I'd like it to have the interior door panels. I'd like it to have those things. Definitely going to be on the lookout for that still. Come on, man. Don't you do that. You get out of there, screw. Don't want to go in the places that I want them to go in, and they want to go in places I don't want them to go. What is with that? They're like children. A little bit of mask still. A little bit of spray mask still on it. I'll get that off. Okay. Yeah, the Lexan body comes with clear coating on the outside, so that if you overspray, it doesn't get super messy. All right, that's the last one for the front. So the front's in. I've got rears. And it's going to be the same process. So I've got this rear set here ready to go. Set it in. Find the right flare. Right flare. And the one thing I didn't buy for this is the skid plates. I opted to not use skid plates. Just didn't want it. You could, but I didn't. I thought, it has enough black accessories on the outside. I really don't need skid plates. I think everybody gets the picture without it. Come on now. Get in there. Okay, that one's halfway in. Put another screw in for good measure. Go. Just about right. And then we'll flip it on its side and do the other one. I think on its side is going to be a little simpler. Last flare. I have to get my flare. Screw. Put that in the hole. Here we go. Then we'll put another one there. All right, now we just got to put all the finishing screws in for these two flares. There is plenty of room for the sliders. I mean, I could use the sliders. I don't know. Maybe at some point. Maybe at some point we'll add sliders. I'm not totally sure they're necessary, but maybe we'll want that look down the road eventually. Get all these screws in. And the rears will be done. And then we just have to line up some Velcro. It's a nice looking truck, man. Pretty pleased. Pink would not have been my color choice, but it's not bad. It could be a whole lot worse. See where I put screws in, because I can't see where I put screws in. I don't know where they all were. I'll know pretty quick if I hit one, though. That's for sure. I didn't like that. It's one out, but also not super necessary that it be real tight. It's okay. It's got like 10 buddies helping it. There, and one more there. Yep, just tight enough. Where did it go? No, that's right. That's the one more. I just missed the hole. Come on now. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so that should be all screws for this here. Surely is. No, 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 it's not. I missed one. There's still one. I'm gonna go through this bag of 50 screws before I'm done. Here's the one that I missed. Okay, flip it over on the other side. Now I can see these screw holes, so I shouldn't miss any. These are silver screws. You're supposed to use the black ones with the hex caps. But it was like $4 for a pack of 50 of these. They work just fine. You can't really see the silver, and even if you could, they're gonna match the rims because the rims are silver. At some point, she probably is gonna want some black rims, or I could take these off and paint them. I might just order the Axe black rims that come with the Axe body. That could be the easiest way to do it. Those are plastic rims. They're nice little box. I could just paint the one she has. I don't think she complained. Ah, I think I put a screw inside a screw. Okay. No, no, I didn't. I just didn't line the hole up very well. Doesn't want to go. We'll try that again. Get out of there. Get out of there. You're not minding me, so I don't want you to go. See the problem. There it is. Trying to come in too shallow. Now the flare is coming in too shallow. Here we go. Aha! Was it. Had to just bend it a little bit. Sometimes these plastic parts get out of whack. Course them back into where they belong. That's okay. And that's a lot of paint down there, isn't it? So the paint that I used for this is actually, I want to say it was the black is a Rust-Oleum that I had in a satin finish, which is just, standard spray paint stuff. Um, the pink is a Krylon. I want to say it's actually a ballet slipper pink. And then I used a Krylon clear glitter as the base coat to get that. And you can't really see it on camera, but it is glittery. And it's right under the Lexan. So it looks like a metal flake paint, even though they didn't have this color in a metal flake, because most people don't want this color in metal flake. So I had to kind of create my own. All right, so the body's done. Look at that. We got fender wells, we got front grills, we got interiors, we got a roll cage, we got all the good stuff. Now, one last bit of work. Let me find what I'm looking for here. Oh, I had it earlier. I fell out. And we're going to put some Velcro on it because that's how this body retention system works. It's with Velcro. So for this body, I'm going to go ahead and just stick these together. I like to cut Velcro in a state where both things are the same. I also like to cut it directly in half and then half again for this use case. So we're not going to have a ton of Velcro on here. I'm probably going to wind up replacing this Velcro at some point because I don't feel like this is enough to hold this body on. We're definitely gonna put magnets in mine and hers at some point, but today is not that day. So, all right, let me undo some of this. All right, so I'm gonna put the hard side on the truck chassis and the soft side on the body. So we're just gonna stick little slabs of Velcro in here. It's not a lot of Velcro, but it works pretty effectively. Really, I would say they're gonna recommend a wider strip of Velcro than this. You know, they would want to fill this hole well. I don't have that currently, so it's gonna get this. It'll be just fine. I promise you. This stuff is pretty hardcore. It's gonna do well. And then we're gonna get the chassis up here, and I'm gonna put the other sides on, and I'm gonna put the Velcro straps in for the battery. Have a complete truck. So there's all the Velcro pads in place. Put this back down. I'm gonna put that up. So you see there's matching slots for where the Velcro goes here. Kind of guesstimate the area which that was placed, which is kind of just center of the pocket. Go. A couple more in the front. I'm going to find these Velcro straps for the battery compartment. Okay, there's all that. Now I have one of the Redcat straps here. I have a couple of Velcro straps hanging around on a Redcat one. Redcat one. This is a Redcat one, so I got two Redcat battery straps here. So the way this works, yes, no, maybe, I think. So you'd actually it may behoove you to install these prior to electronics, but meh, it works just fine without. So that's one strap in there, and I'm not going to go all the way to the end for this next one. I'm going to go down to the third. We are going to be running full-size packs in here, and I want the battery to come out the end. So, all right, there's that. Now for the real fun time here. Put the body on. It'll be a truck. This is the first time the body meets the chassis. Oh yes. Oh yes indeed. She is a pink truck. Let me give you a different shot. She's a pink truck. Oh yeah. Check that out. She looks good. She looks real good. Definitely digging this. Peyton is going to enjoy the heck out of this thing. I like it. All right, everybody. Well, that's it. We have built the pink crawler. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want to see something else done to it, any comments you might have about things I should do to it, not do it. Anyway, I'm going to go show it to her because she's going to be super excited to see it. And if you haven't yet, please like and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/nerddadslair. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/nerddadslair. And until next time, we will catch you nerds later.